Back to the Wild Card Show. We are joined by Terry Fator, ventriloquist, impressionist, and a comedian. A lot of hats, right?
A lot of hats.
And a singer, too. Just a regular singer.
I do sing, yes, I do.
And who is this?
I'm Winston the Impersonating Turtle, the star of the show. He couldn't do it without me.
Well, actually, it's reverse. He couldn't do it without me.
This is true. So how did you get started in this?
Well, I found a book in my school library. I was 10 years old, and I just checked the book out. It fascinated me. One of the reasons was that a lot of the kids, I would always do the talent show every year, and there was not another ventriloquist in the entire school, so I thought, geez, this is going to give me a leg up.
Or a hand up.
Right, a hand up.
It's niche, right?
And yeah, so I just checked it out, started working on it, realized pretty quickly that I could do it, and so I went down to Sears and bought a little puppet, and the rest is history.
So it's a is it a puppet or a dummy? Is it a puppy?
Well, it's a dummy. Terry's the dummy.
Right. That's the name of my show, is Who's the Dummy Now? So, but yeah, it's what they call puppets dummies. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It's funny how some ventriloquists get very offended when you use the word dummy, but it's like they're dummies. They don't have feelings.
Except me, I have feelings.
That's what I mean. We got to find the proper
Right.
slang, right?
But I call them puppets, dummies, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay. How many puppets do you have?
Oh, gosh, I've got 45, 50,
wow.
a ton of them. I got a lot of them in the warehouse. I've been creating new puppets. And, of course, once I hit it and started making real money doing ventriloquism, it's kind of like a guitar player. You never can have enough guitars.
And you can never have enough puppets.
Right. True. That's very true. But, yeah, in my show, there's about 10 different characters that come out and perform. And
I'm the star.
Right. He's the only one that matters.
Right.
So.
He's a lucky one that got to come out here today, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's because I'm light.
A lot of the puppets are very heavy.
Yes.
So 45 different puppets, that's 45 different voices. Is it hard to keep track?
I do over 200 voices, different impersonating singers' voices. But, yeah, it can get different. It's so funny because I was doing the show last night, and I do this thing where I do Louis Armstrong, and I do
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
right. So he does Kermit the Frog, and then he sings as Kermit the Frog, and I do Louis Armstrong. And right in the middle of doing this song, he started singing as Louis Armstrong. And I've never done that before. It just happened accidentally. And so my assistant, when she came to get Winston, she says, "Did Winston just sing Louis Armstrong?" Yeah, it's never happened before. I said, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I can do anyone.
He can.
So what age were you when you went on AGT?
I was 42.
What was life like before then? Early success? Or?
17 years ago, I was successful as a ventriloquist. So if you looked at it and said, most ventriloquists don't make much money, but I was doing 330 shows a year. So I was performing everywhere, all over the country. And so I was doing decent. I was making decent money as a ventriloquist. Not even close to what I'm making now, So, so all of a sudden, America's Got Talent. Bam! I've got fans all over the country. People are actually paying money to see my show. I'm doing, selling out performing arts centers, selling out Vegas, doing everywhere. So it really changed my life in the best way possible.
What was the most rewarding part of your journey from, you said you're 17, or when you started getting into it when you were 10 to when you got onto America's Got Talent?
The most rewarding part has been the joy that I find out I bring to people, that my art brings to people. I get emails from people that say my son has Down syndrome and never spoke until he saw you on YouTube, or we'll get people that say, my mother had cancer, and through the entire time we were watching your videos. That to me is so rewarding, knowing that you're making a positive impact on people's lives and just bringing joy to people that need it.
Now, the first time I saw you, I got into America's Got Talent a little bit later. Was it 07 was your year?
Yes, 07.
I was a little after. I think the first year I got into was when Paul Zerden won.
And
I remember he brought you on in the finals, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is amazing. I think you did an Elvis
something,
yeah, which was awesome. And then Darcy Lynn was another ventriloquist winner. Is there like a secret club of ventriloquists? You guys all hang out? Do you stay in touch?
Sort of. Like Darcy Lynn I met a couple of years before she went on America's Got Talent. In fact, her family called me and said, "Do you recommend that Darcy goes on America's Got Talent?" I said, "Heck yeah, you need to get her on there." She was only 12 at the time, I think, and I said, "It's a win-win. There's no downside to getting fans." And of course, she won the show, and now she's a superstar. So, we do get to know one another, and some of us hang out, some of us don't. I know Jeff Dunham. I don't hang out with him. We know of each other, and we're friendly when we see each other, but we're not friends. We don't know each other. But yeah, there's a group. There are some that I text Darcy almost daily.
Wow.
And her family, and I text Paul Zerden and I text. He's in England, so Celia Munoz, who won Spain's Got Talent, she's an amazing ventriloquist and opera singer, and she and I were just talking today on the phone. So she's in Spain. So yeah, we do kind of have a little club.
Now, from your time on America's Got Talent to where you are now, kind of what was that journey like from, you made it, right? And then to being like as big as that you are now?
Well, it's for me, honestly, the whole thing is a blur because I work so hard. I'm constantly writing new material. I'm constantly putting new things. Since in the 17 years I've been in Las Vegas, I've probably written 25 different shows. And I continually write new routines. And so I just work all the time to make the show better, to get better, to come up with new things. I don't know if you've seen my new We Are the World video that I just did. I just released it on YouTube. And I do 19 different puppets. And I do all 19 voices without moving my lips. You got to see it. Go to YouTube.
Gosh.
Go to YouTube and then type in Terry Fator, We Are the World. It's going to knock your socks off.
Okay.
It's like the craziest thing. This thing was like 10 years in the making. It took me 10 years to perfect the voices, to learn.
He had to do them without moving his lips, too.
Right.
I could do it.
I know you could, but you're an impersonating turtle and you're more talented than me.
Yeah, it took Terry a lot of work. I could do it instantly.
Right.
Now, I remember watching Paul Zerden, like I said, because he was like my first really exposure to AGT, and I think Howard Stern said, it's like a cartoon come to life, and I think that's kind of like the right way to put it. I've never seen a ventriloquist show just on AGT. Is that kind of how you would describe it too?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about us is what we do, if we're a typical ventriloquist, we animate the inanimated. So we take an inanimate object.
I'm not inanimate.
Well, you are if I'm not there. So we take an inanimate object and we suddenly make it come to life, just like a cartoon would be. So that's a really good way of describing it.
And you believe like the characters. You totally do.
I sure do.
He does.
So real quick, do you have anything else for him?
My last question for you, you mentioned like writing out all these different shows. I think you said you had 25 different shows you've done over 17 years. I'm curious, what's the process of like writing out some of those shows, figuring out what sticks, what doesn't stick, and then piecing all your shows together?
A lot of it's just inspiration. I'll be sitting on a beach taking a vacation with my wife, and all of a sudden I go, oh my gosh, this would be such a great idea for Winston or for Julius or for one of my other characters, Dougie or Maynard or Vicky the Cougar, and so I'll immediately start writing down the ideas. And so a lot of it, or I'll hear a song, because I do over 200 impersonations of artists, and so I will hear a song, John Legend, and I'll say, oh my gosh, that's such a great song, and I'll write a routine around that song. So a lot of times I'll create characters based on different music and different songs and different artists. So that's how I do it.
It's amazing. I have two more for you if you don't mind.
Not at all.
So take us through, if we were to go to a Terry Fator show, what we can expect to see.
Well, first of all, you're going to laugh like you have not laughed in years. I promise you, your sides are going to hurt from laughing. The show is incredibly funny.
That's all me.
No, it's not all you. It's just the whole show. There's a lot of great, really funny characters and lines. But also, we do a lot of different impressions, different songs. You're going to go through tons of eras. You're going to leave feeling exhilarated, and that joy that you feel in that hour and a half that you're watching the show is going to stay with you for several weeks. Guaranteed. You're going to love it. It's just going to make you feel like a kid again. So.
Awesome. The last one, take us back in the library. You saw the book. Can you try and teach Nate and I a little bit on how to do it? I don't know if we can. This is probably going to go horribly.
Well, the key to doing ventriloquism is the tongue has to do all of the work that the lips would do.
That sounds so dirty.
It's not dirty. So, like, for example, you have to say N for M. You have to say T for P. That's how you're supposed to do it. But I'm going to tell you the secret to it. The secret is the tip of your tongue needs to go to the back top of your front teeth, okay? So instead of saying the boy bought a basketball, like the boy bought a basketball, you put the tip of your tongue against the back of your front top teeth and say the boy bought a basketball. Okay, so try it.
The boy.
Well, you're using your lips.
Yeah, I'm
so
totally.
Yeah.
We got some work to have.
Yeah, you only got about 50 years of practice, and you'll be good.
You might need to loan us that book that you found in the
Maybe.
library.
Yeah, 2075 will be good, right?
Well, they say 10,000 hours. I think I've spent 150,000 hours perfecting what I do.
gosh.
So.
Well, Terry, this was awesome. Thank you so much
Thank
for doing
you.
this. This was awesome.
I had
We
a
got to
ball.
go see a show while
Absolutely.
we're in Vegas. We're here
Please
for
do.
another
I'm
week.
at New York, all the way through Wednesday. So tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So come and see it.
Awesome,
Sounds
Terry.
good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.